Everyone, welcome to this Friday night edition of the INSZN College Football Show. I am Braxton Wilkes, joined as always with co-founder Christian Berry. You can check everything out that we are talking about at INSZNCFB.com or INSZN.co. We are talking Hawaii versus UNLV, kind of out of the Mountain West, a great game. This is -2.5. I'm also seeing -3 on the spread in favor of UNLV, and the over under kind of is fluctuating between 64.5 to 65.5. So kind of wanted to get your thoughts real quick on this game, talk you through it, preview it real quick, and get ready for this Friday night action.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and kick us off just kind of at a high level. Look, UNLV's offense has been great this year. Their defense has been abysmal. I think that's how they've been able to win games, every week. Admittedly have not watched a ton of UNLV games, but statistically, a really high powered top 25 offense and one of the worst defenses in the country going up against a Hawaii team that's kind of mid in both categories, ranking at 72 both offensively and 71 defensively. So I think this is going to be kind of one of those games where, if UNLV is able to put up 1,000 points, they continue to kind of go on their win streak and kind of push this forward and have a shot at actually, being one of those group of 5 teams in. If you're 10-2 UNLV, you might start looking at that and saying, hey, this is a real opportunity for us this year. But if I just want to break this down a little bit more clearly, let's look at Hawaii offense versus UNL defense. Hawaii really gets a lot of their, chunk plays, yards is through the passing game. They, have this season put up about 302 yards per game. UNLV allows 264, which is on the higher end. They also get 2.3 passing touchdowns per game, where UNLV allows 2. And if we want to take a look at more UNLV offense versus Hawaii defense, it's a little bit of kind of a tale of two cities, where it's UNLV gets a lot of rushing yards per game, 201 yards on the ground, where Hawaii allows around 140, and then lesser so on the passing game with 258 yards to the air, where Hawaii allows 215, 16. So I think that I think UNLV is going to play to their strengths. Their quarterback, Anthony Calandera, has been pretty good this year. I can take a quick look at him just to kind of highlight what he's been able to do this year. Their 2 losses against New Mexico and Boise State were kind of his 2 lower performing games. But overall, he's a highly accurate quarterback, kind of more of that dual threat type quarterback that we look at, that archetype. Where he's, overall offense is top 15 percentile across all FBS quarterbacks, and has really been able to kind of, pick apart defenses on that medium and deep ball pass. So this is going to be kind of an interesting matchup from that perspective. I think that, UNLV's offense will continue to click. And, whether or not Hawaii can kind of fend that off is kind of the outstanding question. I'm happy to also talk about kind of how we're looking at this game from a statistical standpoint of who we think is going to win, if that would be helpful.
Yeah. Talk about that and just kind of briefly talk about INSZN AI.
Yeah.
Because this, you and I were talking, kind of, no one's picking the team to come out of the Mountain West from that group of 6 automatic bid. And there's still a lot of football to be played. The American, each week, there's a new kind of front runner from that.
There's a new playoff team from the American each week.
Yeah, and then James Madison's obviously right there, and there's kind of some back and forth on all of that. So, but UNLV at 8-2 right now. They win these last 2 games, win this Friday night game, win the last 2, and then win the Mountain West.
Yeah.
They probably need some help, but this could come down.
Definitely not out of it
to be a big time CFP game. So take us through INSZN AI real quick.
Sure. So INSZN AI, what we use is all of our analytics, all of our internal models, and we try to predict, the outcome of each game each week. And then we run that again through, deep machine learning models and kind of more statistical type internal models that we have to provide a conviction score of how we think, our pick actually fares. Look, we kind of have this more or less as a toss up. We have UNLV winning 60% of the time. 6 out of 10 times. We have a conviction rating of 19%, and what that equates to is kind of more of a toss-up in our category. While those still win about 70% of the time, they're more unpredictable. We see a lot more upsets. We see a lot of upsets kind of in that, spread range of, 0 to 3 across these teams. So more or less, we have this as a toss up. We still do have UNLV pulling this out. But kind of this is not a game I would touch if I were inclined to bet on this game. I think it's going to be a closer matchup, but I still do think that UNLV pulls this out.
Yes, yeah, I agree. And this is kind of a game Hawaii, for a lot of the I don't want to say degenerates out there, but the big time sports gamblers normally are betting on Hawaii late because it's the last game on.
Yeah,
They've watched college football all day on Saturday, and then you go over to the island and you get to watch a game at midnight or 1 a.m. or whatever.
yeah.
This is obviously Friday night. Hawaii's coming to the mainland. That's a lot harder.
This is not
I mean, that's
something I would not try to maybe start my weekend out with Hawaii UNLV pick.
yeah,
I'll say that. I would probably wait
yeah.
until Saturday morning, or we can give you another option for Friday night.
Exactly. When you're picking Hawaii at the end of Saturday, not before Saturday. I got you. All right. So this was Friday night edition of the In-Season College Football Show. Comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you like. Ask any questions. We're happy to answer them. And then, as always, check us out on inseasoncfb.com or inseason.co. We will see you next time.